guys, so today I'm doing my 6-week pregnancy update. My last one was at about 3.5 weeks and I'm trying to do like an every other week kind of thing here. I am posting weekly on my blog if you're interested, so that should be like every single week. Most weeks, hopefully, up until this point, at least, I'm going to be able to post every week on the blog. On YouTube here, I'm trying to do every other week or so. So, we're only 6 weeks in, but hopefully I'll be able to stick to this. I do have one son already. Not that I'm having a son now, I'm just saying I have one child already, and he just turned 1 in May, and so it can kind of be difficult to find time to sit down and film here. As you can see, I've got like no makeup on, I haven't done anything with my hair, so this is for real mom life as a mom of a toddler and currently pregnant with baby number 2, which we are super duper excited about. If you haven't seen my first update, I will leave a link down below to the 3.5 weeks or 4 weeks pregnant update, which includes like stuff about like my ovulation symptoms and my 2-week wait symptoms and stuff like that. But now that we are 6 weeks in, I have a little bit more just like regular early pregnancy stuff going on. So like I said, I am a mom already, and so I will probably be comparing a lot of things between this pregnancy and when I was pregnant with Calvin. That's just kind of how it goes, I think. Just trying to get like a rounded kind of perspective. And I mean, I'm only 6 weeks in, but things are quite different than they were when I was pregnant with Calvin. So, like, one thing is the lightheadedness. I was very lightheaded the first few weeks with Calvin, but I haven't been that way this time around with baby number 2. The fatigue is definitely similar. I'm still having, you know, just as much tiredness as I did when I was pregnant with Calvin. I wouldn't say that's necessarily more intense, but it's kind of a different intensity because last time around I wasn't trying to take care of a toddler and be pregnant at the same time. This time around I'm taking care of a tiny little person and be pregnant growing a new person. So it is a different kind of exhaustion, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I feel more tired than I did my first pregnancy. I had to shut the curtains because they keep throwing off the camera. It's making it all funky. But anyway, I have noticed that I've been a little snotty this past week, and I was wondering when that was going to kick in because I remember before I even took my first test with Calvin, I had a couple days where I was like being a total bee. And this time around, I don't feel like I was like that the first few weeks until this past like 6th week here. I felt like I've just had an attitude. Like I always have something snotty to say. Like I feel like when I'm pregnant, I like don't have a filter. Like I felt the same way last time too. Is like when I am mad about something or something's on my mind, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna filter it. I'm not gonna ignore it or push it down or nothing. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna let my whole feelings out. And I think that can be a bad thing because I have been very snotty to my husband. I know that for a fact. So if you're watching this, dear, I'm really sorry, but it's the hormones. You can't blame me. I've had one instance of food aversion. Like I made a blueberry croissant, like breakfast casserole thing. I reheated it like the next day, and the blueberries, like the saucy thought of like biting into those blueberries totally grossed me out, but I still ate it anyway, so it wasn't that intense of an aversion. And I've had some cravings lately. Like I just feel like when I'm pregnant, it's like I want something. Like if I think of something that I want it now, instead of like when I'm not pregnant and I'm like I think of something, I'm like, oh, we might have that for dinner tomorrow, or we might do that this weekend or something. When I'm pregnant, I'm like, I must have it immediately. I am already feeling kind of bloated. I've put away a couple pairs of jeans that were kind of tight to begin with. I haven't lost all the weight from when I was pregnant with Calvin. I'm about 10 pounds heavier than I wanted to be when I got pregnant the second time around, but not like I was really trying very hard to lose that weight. So I can't really, I can't really blame, I gotta blame myself for that. But there are some pants that were kind of like borderline, should I be wearing these or should I not, kind of uncomfortable, but they've definitely become uncomfortable. So I put those away for a while. I am already doing the like whole rubber band through the loophole thing. I can't wait to start wearing maternity stuff. I think I read when I was pregnant with Calvin, I didn't start wearing maternity stuff until like 11 weeks. And I like really want to start wearing it now, like super soon here. Definitely already peeing in the middle of the night. I think that's been going on like pretty much since I got my positive. I have experienced some cramping, but not as much as when I was pregnant with Calvin. Like that's another thing that's kind of different, is when I was pregnant with Calvin, like I felt like I was crampy like all the time, but I really haven't felt like that to that intensity this pregnancy so far. The first like week when I found out that I was pregnant, I had some, I would call it round ligament pain. I know some people wouldn't call it that because it's like too early to be feeling that, but that's like exactly what it felt like. Like just when I stood up or when I coughed or sneezed or whatever, just like the shooting pain down there, that I felt that the first week. Then I didn't have it for a while, and now I only have it like every couple days or something. I might have one little episode of it, so we'll see how that goes. I remember that was a really intense, very prominent thing when I was pregnant with Calvin. I have been having weird dreams, definitely more intense dreams. I've had a couple dreams of drinking and smoking. I had that all the time when I was pregnant with Cal, and I took that as like a sign that it was a boy, because like something that I read somewhere said like you would dream more about, you know, like manly things, you know, like tractors and building things and, you know, all these boy things. And I always like dreamt about drinking and smoking when I was pregnant with Calvin, and I've already had one dream about that since I've been pregnant this time around. I've also dreamt a couple times that I've had miscarriages. I dreamt that Calvin stopped nursing all of a sudden, and I like totally wasn't ready for that. So I've had a couple like weird dreams. I have actually had some spotting last week, I think it was. I had some spotting on like over the weekend, and I tried not to think anything of it, but then it happened again a couple days later, and so I called the doctor. They had me come in and do some blood work a couple days apart, I guess, to see like how my HCG is increasing or whatever other hormones they're looking for in there over like the 2-day period. And they said no news is good news, and I haven't heard back, and I tried calling them but still haven't heard anything back. So that's kind of frustrating that I still can't even get like an answer, but they did say no news is good news, so whatever. It's frustrating that they haven't like just called, like, you know, I already called them and said, hey, can you give me a call? Nothing. That's not cool. But I take that as kind of a good thing. So we haven't had an ultrasound yet, but it is scheduled for next week, which is week 7, so you probably won't hear about it till like the week 8 update, but that'll be our first ultrasound. We were going to wait until that first ultrasound to tell our family, like our close family and stuff like that, but we literally like, I know I can't. I am so bad at secrets. I hate keeping secrets. I have to tell people like immediately. Like this has been the most stressful couple of weeks of my life. Like when we were pregnant with Calvin, we told at around like 5 weeks and a couple days. And it's like 6 weeks and a couple days now, and we just told some people last night and this morning, and so just that extra week of waiting like felt like an eternity this time around. I did say when I was pregnant with Calvin that I wanted to wait a little while longer next time because I felt like I wanted to keep the secret to ourselves and not let everybody like in on it all the time, but I don't think I can wait any longer than this. And like next pregnancies, we're just gonna tell like right off the bat, because it's like so difficult to wait. And it's not like we wait because we're afraid of miscarriage or anything. It's just, I just like some days I like just knowing, just me and Justin knowing, and just like having our own little secret. But then other days I'm like, you know, I'm having some symptoms, I don't feel good at work, you know, like stuff like that, and I kind of want everybody to know so they don't think I'm like this super slacker and whatnot, because I have had a couple bouts of a little bit of morning sickness the past couple days, just recently, just the past couple days. And it's like when I was pregnant with Calvin, it's like I need a little bit of something in my tummy. If my tummy is empty, I feel gross. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I feel sick. But I don't want to be snacking all day all the time because I gained 1,000,000 pounds when I was pregnant with Calvin, and I don't want to gain 1,000,000 pounds this time. Like I really don't want to gain a ton of weight like I did with Calvin. Maybe it's just genetically, that's just how I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be super fat when I'm pregnant, but I really want to try to not gain 50 pounds like I did when I was pregnant with Calvin. I feel like this is like totally rambly. Like I feel like there's like zero structure to today's video. When I did these when I was pregnant with Calvin, I would do them weekly and I would go through each individual category and like tell you all the things. But now that I'm like lumping a bunch of weeks together, I just feel like I'm all over the place. Oh, another thing that's been different is that when I was pregnant with Calvin, I definitely had some really sensitive nipples and like achy boobs and stuff those first couple weeks, and so far I have not experienced that. I've had a couple days of like sensitive nipples. I am still nursing Calvin, but only once before bed, so I don't feel it like all day, just that one time a day. Some days I do feel they're kind of sensitive and kind of uncomfortable to nurse, but it's not a recurring thing. It's not a constant thing. It's just every once in a while. And that's how I was, you know, going through my regular cycles before I got pregnant, you know, like around ovulation, right before my period. Every once in a while I'd get sensitive nipples. And so I don't feel like it's really that different than it was before I got pregnant, because I always had like a random day that was kind of awkward anyway. And so it's not a constant thing. And that was one thing that I kind of feared, is that I have heard people say that, you know, if they're nursing and pregnant, that they kind of had to give up nursing because it was so uncomfortable for them in the first weeks of pregnancy. And that was something I was kind of worried about because honestly, I don't feel like I personally am ready for Calvin to wean. I don't think he really is either, but I think he could survive if we weaned, you know. Well, I mean, of course he could survive, you know, but I feel like almost like I am more dependent on it than he is. I'm just not ready to wean him yet. And I was worried that we would like have to wean because we've already weaned down a bit in order for me to get pregnant. We tried for 3 months, and like the first month or two I was only nursing him twice a day, and I said, okay, if we don't get pregnant these 2 months, then we'll move down to once a day, and we'll try that for a couple months, and if I still don't get pregnant, then we'll quit and we'll try to get pregnant. And so I'm glad I didn't have to totally give up nursing, but I was also fearful that I would have to give up nursing in the first few weeks of pregnancy anyway because it was going to be awkward and uncomfortable, but so far it's been okay. So I think that's about it. I'm sorry for the rambliness. I'll try to be more structured next time. If you want to see week by week, like I said, I am doing that on the blog, so I will leave some links down below to the weekly blog posts. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did like it. Let me know what other kind of pregnancy or baby related, toddler related videos you guys want to see down in the comments below, and I will try to help you guys out with that. I love you guys so much. I'm so excited to be back on this journey again with you guys by my side, and I will see you guys next time.